Good evening and thank you for joining us for Creme 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. It was a big night for Gonzaga basketball, both the men's and women's teams winning at the WCC tournament. Our Brenna Green and Travis Green are live in Las Vegas tonight with a look at how those games went. Good evening, guys.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, this was the first time since 2018 that both the men and women won in the WCC tournament with fans in the building. So it was a very joyful day for Zag Nation. We're going to start first with the Gonzaga men.
And the men's game, this one became a nail-biter, got close late, but then Rasheer Bolton and Andrew Nembhard, they just took over.
Yeah, St. Mary's cut Gonzaga's lead to just 2. Andrew Nembhard hit a layup, and then both him and Rasheer Bolton were off to the races. The duo dazzled, hitting incredible threes, great and ones. They went on a personal 17-point run that ended up being a 17-7 run in the game, and it nearly spanned for 4 minutes of game time. Nobody else hit shots. It was just the two of them for the Zags. Nembhard ended up with 10 points during that span. Bolton had 7. Overall, Andrew scored 19 points and Bolton added 18. Nembhard also the MVP of the tournament. Normally, the high point totals come from Gonzaga's bigs, but tonight it was the senior guards' turn to shine.
You know, it was definitely a lot of fun. Just being out there to be able to help the team, especially on that run, and seeing shots fall is always a good part of the game. So, it was fun to play off him and get things done and get the win tonight.
That's how you want your seniors to play. You want them to have those moments, and I think they sense that. Again, that defense is really, really hard to score on. It's really hard to score, especially on your first action against it. And I think a lot of those were just kind of tough, really individual plays within the scheme of how we move the ball, and they delivered. And that's what you hope and expect out of your seniors.
And you can't just talk about Bolton and Nembhard without mentioning Julian Strother. It was almost like watching a relay race between the backcourt, and it was Strother who was starting the race. He was the man leading the charge in the first half, scoring 13 points to help the Zags lead by double digits at the break. He ended the game with 16 total, going a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. The cherry on top, the Vegas native did it all in front of his hometown crowd.
It's always really nice to be able to come out here and play in front of my friends and family and back in my hometown. So be able to come out here, win a tournament championship, and cut down the nets in front of all of them, that's an experience that I remember for life and I always cherish.
And switching over to the women's side today, Gonzaga women's basketball, I think what you could call an upset, as BYU had dominated them the 2 times these two teams have played this season. Today they flipped the script, winning 71-59.
Yeah, and they were in control of this entire contest. There was never a question. What was a question coming in anyways was, were the Gonzaga women going to make the NCAA tournament? They were kind of on the bubble. Now they don't have to worry about that question anymore. The key stretch of this game came in the 4th quarter. Gonzaga was only up by 3 points. Kaylin Trong hit a 3 right out of the gate to double up Gonzaga's lead. BYU was able to score the next possession, but Melody Kempton hit back-to-back shots herself. First a jumper, then a layup. Gonzaga was up by 7 at that point, and then Kaylin Trong, she's feeling it from 3. Ring it up, baby. Zags were up 10 with 6:30 left. BYU would not threaten again. The Gonzaga women do not have to worry about a committee deciding their fate. They're going dancing. They're pretty excited about it.
Now having this win, knowing for sure we're in, and beating, what were they, a 14 seed before this?
Ranked.
14 ranked, yeah.
Something like
14
that, yeah.
ranked team. That looks really good for us, and to know we're in and we'll definitely get a higher seed than we would have if we lost just feels amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coming in, I think we got together as a team and said, let's not put this, our fate isn't in somebody else's hands. Like, let's just take care of business. Let's control what we can control. And now we punched our ticket.
Yeah, so we're dancing.
Now we're dancing.
So what's next for both of these teams? A stress-free selection Sunday.
Relaxing.
No worries. And that is going to be a lot of fun. By the way, the Gonzaga women, they have Selection Sunday instead of Selection Monday. They moved that back to Sunday this year. It used to be on Monday, but now they're going to do it both on the same day.
Right, and we know for sure the Gonzaga men going to be the #1 overall seed in the men's side, and on the women's side, we know Gonzaga women are in. We just don't know what seeding they will get. And that men's selection show will be on Sunday, 3 p.m. on KREM. You can see that on our station, CBS. The women, that one kicks off at 5.
Yep, so we will be there enjoying all of that. And by the way, we're going to stay in Vegas. We will have coverage from WSU's game in the Pac-12 tournament tomorrow. But for now, reporting in Las Vegas, he's Travis Green. I'm Brenna Green, KREM 2 Sports.
It's a good night to be a Zag. Travis, Brenna, thank you very much. In other news, we saw a pretty mild day once again, but temperatures are about to dip. In fact, they are already on the decline. Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo in the Outdoor Weather Center. And Jeremy, a bit colder tonight versus last night out there, huh?
Yeah, Mark, it's markedly colder than it was, say, 24 hours ago. Nice and chilly right now, 30. Feels like 20 with an east northeasterly wind at 13 miles per hour. Turns out I can't talk when we get around 11 p.m. because I'm still trying to learn how to stay up a little bit later. Temperatures in the mid-20s in Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint, 35 in Moses Lake, and still up near 40 out in Wenatchee. We've got that wind that's going to stay rather strong throughout the entire night. Wind gusts up near 25 miles per hour will continue to usher in that Arctic air mass. And even tomorrow morning, that wind stays strong enough that we're talking wind chill factors. We're waking up to temps in the teens early tomorrow morning. That's right, the teens. You factor in that wind, and it feels like we're close to the single digits in Spokane, in the single digits in North Idaho, teens out in central Washington. It is going to be a chilly start to the day, and with the wind continuing, we remain cold feeling all day long.
Jeremy, thank you very much. The state of Idaho is one step closer to banning gender affirmation surgery and treatment for transgender people under the age of 18. If the bill becomes law, parents who seek treatment for their child could face life in prison. New at 11 tonight, Kyle Simchuk shows us what happened at Idaho's Capitol that has the trans community worried.
Well, Bill 675 passed on the House floor this afternoon by a vote of 55 to 13. It now heads to the Idaho State Senate. Now, supporters of the bill say it's designed to protect children from making decisions they may later regret. Others believe it'll put transgender kids at risk. Work going on inside Idaho's Capitol is personal for Preston Thompson.
It was never a question of whether we were going to support our child or not.
His 15-year-old daughter, Lynn, told him she is trans 2 years ago. It left Preston worried for the challenges ahead.
She knows the headwinds that are against her.
House Bill 675 would make transgender affirmation surgery illegal for anyone under the age of 18. The bill also bans puberty blockers and hormone medications. Healthcare providers would face felony charges, as would parents, even if they took their child to a state where treatment is legal.
If we do not allow minors to get tattoos, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, or sign legal contracts, why would we allow them to make decisions to cut away healthy organs?
Representative Bruce Skog is sponsoring the bill and believes children should not be making permanent decisions about transitioning until they're 18. Others disagree.
This bill passing will most certainly take away happiness, and it will instead replace it with depression and with sorrow and with the needless death of more trans individuals.
One supporter of the bill had gender affirmation surgery. He now says it was a mistake.
Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw a man staring back at me. I tried hard to resolve the conflict, but I couldn't. The bottom line is that the therapist and the medical community was wrong in my case.
Preston's daughter was unable to testify in person, but she did email lawmakers.
I got lucky to have access to trans care and have a supportive family and friends. I do not believe I would be alive without it.
Lynn's family says she isn't ready for surgery and they don't know when that time will come. But Lynn says access to hormones and treatment are a necessity. Her family is standing strong, even willing to move out of the gem state if need be.
It's kind of ironic that Idaho claims to be pro-freedom as they're trying to yank my rights as a father and my child's rights away.
Now again, this bill needs to pass in the Idaho State Senate. Treatment and affirmation surgery would still be legal for transgender individuals over the age of 18. In the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Gas prices hit a national high today, and locally, Washington State is now one of the most expensive places for a gallon of gas.
The more money that we spend on fuel is less money that we have to go out and buy food.
Today, the price of gas in Spokane averaged $4.13 a gallon, according to AAA. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll hear from several community members who will be impacted by the increase the most. Well, sad news today for Seahawks fans. Quarterback Russell Wilson has been traded to the Denver Broncos. As part of the trade, the Seahawks will receive quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, and defensive lineman Shelby Harris, along with 5 draft picks. Wilson had been the Seahawks quarterback since 2012 when he beat out veteran Matt Flynn for the starting quarterback job as a rookie. The 9-time Pro Bowler will be the first quarterback to start for a team he's defeated in the Super Bowl. The Seahawks now have the 9th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. An update now to some breaking news we brought you last night. Spokane police still searching for a homicide suspect after a shooting last night in downtown Spokane. When officers arrived at the scene near West 2nd and Maple Street, they found an adult man had died. Spokane police officers say they gathered information to suggest there was an argument prior to the shooting. A suspect has not been arrested, and the identity of the suspect and the victim have also not been released at this hour. And we have an update to a drive-by shooting that killed a man on the South Hill near Shriners Hospital last week. The victim has been identified as 28-year-old Amar Johnson. Since the shooting, police have still not found the suspect. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, the fighting in Ukraine tonight has entered its 14th day as the Russian military continues to surround Kyiv and advance in the southern part of the country. A temporary ceasefire allowed residents to evacuate 2 cities in Ukraine. This also comes as President Biden announced a ban on Russian imported oil. Ukrainian President Zelensky grateful for the ban and asking other countries to follow suit. We will share more on that oil ban a little later in the broadcast. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break and be right back with more news and weather.